What is up everyone? Today I'll be showcasing my illegal Bullet Seed Lileep in the Element Cup. Bullet Seed is an unobtainable legacy move on Lileep, meaning that you cannot get it on any of your current Lileeps. Even if you try to Elite TM, it just isn't possible. This is an extremely rare Pokemon as it was only available for like a 30-minute window years ago when they tried to give Bullet Seed to Cordilli but messed up and gave it to Lileep instead for that small time frame. And if you TM'd within that time frame, you were able to get it on Lileep, but it hasn't been available ever since. Generally, it's also not that useful, but in Little Cup, it has a chance to shine, especially in Element Cup, where it does quite well. Because of its grass typing, it does very well against the water types, and has a ton of play versus fire types as well with the Asian power, which got buffed this season, of course, so it's even stronger now. And you also have a lot of play versus opposing grass types, as Asian power does some damage there too. Lileep can also run Infestation, which honestly is just as good as Bullet Seed. So if you don't have a Bullet Seed one, just run Infestation and it'll work just fine. But of course, I'll be running Bullet Seed as it's just a bigger flex. I'll be pairing it with Vulpix as it deals with the grasses that Lileep can struggle with, and Jupiter in the back as it's just the Element Cup king. Anyway, let's get into these battles, starting off with the nemesis of this team, Slugma. This thing destroys the Vulpix Jupiter core, and Lileep isn't amazing either, especially when two shields are up. So what I always do is I just stay in with Vulpix, get off a body slam, that's already brought it pretty low, then bring in Lileep so I can kill it when shields are down. They decide to switch out though before I can get off my Asian power into their own Lileep, which I can grass not right here. They ring Infestation and they win CMP, which is not great, meaning I'm gonna have to shield her if I want to get rid of this Lileep. Which I do, then don't get a boost here. That's great. That means my Ancient Power will definitely knock out. Honestly, even with a boost, might have knocked out. Moves do so much damage in Little Cup. It's kind of insane. Luckily, these rock throws don't do enough though, as I still reach the Ancient Power here to take another shield of the Slugma. This is kind of a problem I have with Slugma. It's that it's just not spammy. It's not spammy. I think the best Pokemon in Little Cup, in Element Cup Remix, are the spammy Pokemon, and Slugma just isn't one of them. And you can see that in this game work in my favor. I'm just out spamming them, and that allows me to win this game in the end, even though they had me pretty core broken. GG's. Next game, we face another core breaker in the Skrelp. This thing has water gun, so pretty bad for Vulpix. Decide to bring in my Lileep. Out comes a Litwick. They don't know what's coming, it seems. Throw the Asian power, they let it go, and it almost knocks out the candle, and now I'm able to farm this all the way down before they get to another move. That's pretty huge. They're gonna bring back in the Skrelp again, I think. Oh no, they bring in Jupiter, which is fine. I have Asian power to throw at this, which will do a decent chunk of damage. Unless they decide to shield, which they do, and I get that boost. This means they'll definitely have to shoot up this next move, or it will basically knock them out. So this is pretty good. I was quite worried about that Skrelp, as it can take out my Vulpix pretty easily, and Jupiter doesn't love it either. But now that I've got shields down, should be looking pretty good, as I should just get to a Mirror Coat versus the Skrelp. Things are definitely not over though. I do have two shields, but I also have some energy on both the Jupiter and the Skrelp, so can definitely still go in my opponent's favor. I just had to body slam next, just in case they try to catch a move on Skrelp. I at least wanted to do neutral damage, and it kills the Jupiter anyway. So yeah, they didn't decide to switch though, so Jupiter gets taken out. In comes the Skrelp. Now I'm gonna shield this up, as a Sludge will do a ton of damage, and it was the Sludge. Great, because now I should be able to easily get to the Mirror Coat, knock out the Skrelp, and that is another win, I hope. Yes, GG's. Next game, we got another Vulpix mirror. Now, my Vulpix is pretty high ranked, so low attack, meaning I generally do lose the CMP tie, which is far from ideal. But luckily, we are facing a regular Vulpix, which means usually I'll be able to survive the second body slam. Like, I will shield the first one, and then I will let the second one go. If they win CMP, like they do here, I should be able to survive and still get to my own body slam, which I do. So, survive that, go for my own body slam. This will either take a shield or put their Vulpix very low as well, and then we simultaneous knockout. So, that's fine. I don't really know what's best to bring in there. I'm just gonna bring in the Lileep. It's the more flexible Pokeball of this team, I think. So that's why I brought in the Lileep. But I regret that. Jupiter would be much better against Lotad. Decided to go for the Grass It's just a harder hitting move. Then switch into Jupiter. They aren't in an energy ball just yet, so I'm gonna no shield this Bubble Beam, as it is only resisted. Now, I really hope I can get to the Mirror Coat pretty quickly. Oh, actually, oh no, I thought I was gonna farm down there for a second, but no, I throw it because I don't want to be Bubble Beamed again. I think I should have farmed down though, because what's coming in next is a Bejewel, and if I had a Mirror Coat loaded there, I would have been able to do a bunch of damage, but instead, I'm just gonna end up getting Razor Leafed all the way down. Yeah, I'm gonna be able to fire off an Ancient Power though, but this sadly will not knock out. GG's. Next game, I face a Wooper in the lead. That's pretty bad, so I switch into Lileep, and out comes a Jupiter. Not ideal, but fine. I can hit this pretty hard with Ancient Power, so I'm gonna throw the first here. They shield it up. No boost, sadly. Just gonna go for another one. I should be able to survive this Bubble Beam, so no need to shield. Either way, I'm gonna be able to get to another one. Oh yeah, I was confused here actually. Ancient Power is not the strongest move. It did get buffed, but it's not the strongest move, so I thought that Grass Knot would maybe do more damage. But actually, Ancient Power still does 3 more damage, so that is what I should be throwing there. And after this game, I realized that, so definitely, if you're Lileep versus Jupiter, even if you're only gonna get to 1 move, just go for the Ancient Power, it will do more. Anyway, brought out my Vulpix versus Jupiter, just took the Bubble Beam. It's not really going to be useful against the Wooper, so I was fine just letting it go. And then hopefully my Jupiter will be able to sweep whatever's in the back, which is a Vulpix. Definitely not ideal as the quick attacks are neutral and my Bug Bites are resisted. They're also throwing neutral Body Slams, but I do have the Bubble Beam here to do some damage. Fortunately, it doesn't do that much though. Opponent ends up making a bit of a mistake, I guess, by not throwing their Body Slam before the second Bubble Beam, because this makes it incredibly easy for me to just no shield their next move, because it's now double debuffed instead of just single debuffed. But actually, given that there are 2 anyway, I might have a shield no matter what. No, I can just let this go. Yeah, it's double debuffed. I don't have to shield that. It's double debuffed. I just gotta hope I can take out the Wooper with my Jupiter and Vulpix now, but given that I have almost no energy, or I have some energy on Jupiter, but not enough. And I do have a move on Vulpix, but it won't be enough. I think Vulpix wins CMP versus the Wooper as well. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to switch, do 1 quick attack on purpose to hope they CMP tie with me, win the CMP tie, take them out to the Body Slam, and then hopefully get to a move with Jupiter. Which, so far the plan is working, but my opponent makes decent play here by undercharging perfectly. Barely don't reach the Body Slam, and now my Jupiter gets taken out as well. Honestly, that undercharge was beautiful by them. It's perfectly played, but also a bit risky, because if that didn't work out, I would have lost, and they really didn't. They didn't need to do that, as my Jupiter would not have gotten to a move before they did. But either way, well played by my opponent there, GG's. Next game, a Shadow Vulpix Mirror. Now, previously we were against a regular Vulpix. In that case, if you lose the CMP, it's not that big of a deal, because you can just survive the second Body Slam. Versus Shadow, that's a bigger deal, because you don't survive the second Body Slam. But luckily, this time I win CMP, which is huge. But now I'm scared that they're gonna catch my move onto something. So what I decided to do is actually switch into my Lileep, expecting them to switch as well, which they did into Celio, which is just beautiful. It's a very risky switch, because if they bring in like a hard counter to Lileep, like a Pharaoh Seed or something, that'd be bad. But who switches in a Pharaoh Seed into Vulpix, right? It doesn't really happen. They're either gonna bring in a water or a water. Yeah, they're usually gonna bring in a water, because with a fire lead, it's not gonna be a fire in the back. And they would never bring in a grass versus Vulpix. So that's why I felt safe bringing in a Leap there. But yeah, anyway, got knocked out by the Vulpix there. Now it's just my Vulpix versus their Vulpix. I throw my first Body Slam on the CMP there, which is a shield. I'm going to shield up theirs, and now I'm just going to play it safe. I could have overfarmed 2 more quick attacks there, but I didn't really want them to catch or get to a Body Slam of their own. So I make sure I just kill it, and then I can hopefully deal with whatever's in the back. And that is looking pretty good as a Bulbasaur comes out. I reach the Weather Ball, and I think this should knock out the Grass type. It does. Next game, we see a Seel lead. Not ideal, but luckily Seel runs Lick as a fast move and not a water fast move. So this is actually not too bad for Vulpix, because I also outpaced to the moves. Unfortunately, a Body Slam doesn't really do that much compared to what an Aqua Tail would do, because it basically knock me out from this point. So I'm gonna have to shield that up. My plan at this point is honestly just to double shield my Vulpix and just get as much damage into the Seel as possible. I could also consider switching into Lileep here, but I'm too scared he's gonna get to the Icy Wind. I'm gonna have to shield anyway. So this is what I decided to do, and hopefully it works out. I'm just gonna throw another Body Slam right here. I overfarm by 1 every time, hoping to throw him off a little bit, and also to throw like right before his Aqua Tails. And that's actually gonna end up working in my favor as my opponent makes a mistake here, and they do not throw the Aqua Tail in time. They definitely had it there, but they weren't expecting me to be at the Body Slam yet because I kept over farming. And that gives me a huge advantage as I have switch advantage, meaning I'll be able to bring my Lileep into the Slugma, just throw the Ancient Power straight up. This actually knocks it out, which is wild. That's so much damage. Out comes the Jupiter now. This is great. I'm just going to be able to get to the Ancient Power, do a bunch of damage, and that sets up my own Jupiter for the sweep. I honestly should have switched out already, but I thought I might be able to reach another Ancient Power, but looking at that bug by damage, definitely not possible. So I switch out to my own Jupiter, throw the Bubble Beam now, and luckily we still reach it in time. GG's. GG's. Oh, are we lagging out? Speaking of lagging out, there's a new update. There's a new update, 0.255. Do not update your game to that update, as it completely breaks Go Battle League. I've seen reports of people crashing out of literally like 2 out of 5 games, which is insane. So do not update, please. This next match, we see another Vulpix mirror. We know how this goes. I'm just going to throw my Body Slam, lose the CMP tie, meaning that I will likely lose this matchup in a 2-shield, but I should be able to survive the next Body Slam, like we did earlier. But I'm actually going to play this match a little differently. I decided to just try to catch the next Body Slam on my Lileep and see what happens. I do catch here successfully. There's nothing. This is a bit of a risk though, as this Vulpix could still reach a Weather Ball before my Ancient Power, which is a bit risky. I would survive that, but it just isn't ideal. Luckily my opponent doesn't do that though, instead goes into Bulbasaur, which honestly is far from ideal as well. But, you know, fine. I get off the Ancient Power here. This will do a good chunk of damage. Actually, a very good chunk of damage. Ancient Power is quite strong at the moment. I'm gonna overfarm by 1 here on Vulpix. This was a bit risky. I honestly didn't know who won CMP here. I was hoping for Vulpix. But I needed to do that overfarm to be able to beat their own Vulpix if they bring it out afterwards. And unfortunately, it doesn't end up working out because, well, they killed me. So this is not looking too good for me, but that changed when they brought in the Deerling. Very interesting pick. Runs Wild Charge actually, so shield is up. And now can my Jupiter take out the Vulpix too? I just gotta throw his Bubble Beam immediately to debuff this Vulpix. Then hope I survive the 2 moves that they're gonna throw at me. Actually, I think they might only get to 1. If they get to 2, this is dangerous. If they only get to 1, I should be looking pretty good. The Weather Ball hits me, doesn't do enough. I get to my next Bubble Beam. This knocks out the Vulpix, but can I farm down the Deerling before it gets another Wild Charge? In it comes. We farm it down, and we do reach it. GG's. That was the final battle of the video. Hope you all enjoyed. I can definitely recommend Lileep with Bullet Seed or even Infestation. If you don't have Bullet Seed, it would still work fantastic. Definitely try it out. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed. See you next one. Good luck with your battles, trainers.